The
ahead,
transfer
Steve.
of this is, the purchase and all of this is between yourself and Mr. Avajanos?
Yes.
Okay, not corporate.
No, they're between me and Paul.
Okay, and so you just become the franchisee, and you pay them an annual,
Yeah, they're.
Yeah, it's a royalty structure where the franchisee pays it's kind of a convoluted formula, but in essence, they pay a percentage of their sales in exchange for certain services provided by the franchisor.
okay?
You all set, Steve?
I'm all set, thank you.
I'm all set.
Everyone else? Anybody in the audience have any comments regarding this license? Hearing, Mr. Bellicone.
Just wanted to acknowledge that you received a copy of the report from the police department concerning the background check, and it did come back clear.
It what?
Clear.
Oh. I thought you were
Be
going to say
happy
it
to hear
didn't come
that.
back yet.
We're happy to hear that.
Clear.
Actually, I think we just checked you out, we didn't check him out.
Okay, at this point, I'll close the public hearing and ask Mr. Yule for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the transfer of the package store wine and malt beverage license from Paul Avagianus, DBA Tedeschi Food Shops, to Pendleton Ventures, Inc., DBA Tedeschi Food Shops, 202 North Street.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Unanimous?
Wish you much success.
Good luck.
Thank you for your time.
Good luck.
Appreciate your continued patronage. Thanks a lot.
It's nice and close to town hall.
Yeah, it is, right there, right.
You can walk it.
Bring your
If
galoshes.
If it's not raining. If it's not raining.
Okay, next item on our agenda is public comment, and
This one.
we have some input from LUC regarding a grant
And Parks and Rec.
on Parks and Rec. There.
Give you something to lean on, Margie.
I'm Margie Salt from Land Utilization Committee. Also filling in for Parks and Rec tonight. Parks and Rec is applying for a grant from the Land Water Conservation Fund. They are requesting $150,000 to construct a pavilion down at Ipswich River Park. The pavilion is to be placed on next to the new septic system. A new mound will be added to the new mound that's out there where the septic system has been placed. A 6-inch concrete slab will be installed and a pavilion put on top of it. The pavilion is going to be 30 by 60 feet. There will be 10 picnic tables, 8 regular picnic tables, 2 handicap accessible, 4 barbecue grills, and water and electric supply. The goal is to get this grant. 50% would come from town funding, 50% would come from the grant. $60,000 has already been allocated from the Hillview Country Club, and the additional $15,000 we would have to find through fundraising and our efforts. This is, there's absolutely no shelter out in the back section of the park. So this is going to provide not only places for families to come and have picnics, but it's also going to provide shelter in the case of a storm. There's nothing worse than having a storm come up and nobody have any place safe to go.
Margie, this grant that you're applying for requires matching funds,
Yes.
so you have to raise the additional money before you can apply for the grant, or how
No.
does that work?
No, we apply for the grant, and then it goes to town meeting for approval. And the town just has to say that it's an acceptable project. We already have the $60,000, and then with the funds from Rec and LUC, the golf tournament, the wine social, various funding, we would come up with the additional money.
Mr. Vino?
will they give you the money before you've raised your share, so to say? In other words, if you're applying for, say, 50,000, well, it would be 100, be 50 with a matching 50, will they give you the money before you've raised that 50,000?
They have to have the approval that we will have the money.
I guess my question would be there, if you did not come up with the money, is the town then liable for the money?
We would have, before it goes to town meeting, if it's something that we can't do, then we would just not accept the funds.
Oh, I see.
We can withdraw, the application and say, it's just something that we financially cannot do.
Okay.
But we're pretty sure that we can come up with the additional 15,000. We already have the 60,000 from the Hillview, so that's guaranteed. So 15,000, we've already raised
I was gonna say,
hundreds
there's
of
money.
thousands of dollars for
Right,
that part.
and you already have money in, between LUC and recreation, there's money in the revolving accounts that could be
Right.
utilized for matching grants until the other funds are raised to restore it.
Right.
So it appears as though
The-
there's enough money already
already
available
Right.
between the 60,000 from Hillview and the 15 that's available through revolving funds to meet the match.
To meet, right.
And I think I'm sorry.
Okay.
The question by most people will be, what's the cost to the town? And there's really
There's
no
no
cost to
co-
the town,
no.
at all.
There's no cost
And
to
that's
the
how I
town.
understood it.
Correct.
So is the
Sean?
grant amount 150 or is the grant amount 75?
We apply for $150,450 is what we're actually applying. I lied, sorry. I forgot about the extra $450.
Well,
You ask for the total amount,
okay.
and then one of the stipulations is you have to match it. And every town has a different percentage that they have to match, and we're at the 50% matching funds.
Great.
In the process of accepting the grant, are there any requirements that are imposed upon the park?
No, there are no additional items that are imposed. We can rent it out, we can rent the pavilion out. The town has established that we charge the same for everyone that comes. We have to have the handicap accessibility, but there's no other stipulations that we know of at the moment.
And
Jeff?
yeah, so I think we talked about if there was some leftover funds as a result of efficiencies in the project, that we can spruce up other areas and put some benches. I think we talked about putting benches.
Putting more benches in, right.
So that if the total cost turns out to be a little bit less than what the program is offering, then that money would still be used to upgrade the park.
I thought money was coming from the Hillview, and I think it was allocated
It's
a while
already
ago.
allocated, correct.
Was for the bathrooms?
When initially, there was 60,000 that was within that fund, but the bathrooms came back so high that we separated it out from we separated the pavilion portion out from the bathroom grant, from the bathroom project. And it's a priority of both LUC and REC that this is the next item that we want to complete.
So what's I've lost track of the status of the bathrooms at this point.
They're under construction.
They're under construction, right?
And we're
Okay.
waiting for the houses to be delivered any day now, which could be now or 2 months from now. We're not quite sure what the.
They're coming by boat?
Yeah. They're just floating down the Ipswich River.
Which would have made it easier, maybe. Okay.
One thing else that we would like is, one of the items when you submit a grant is the more letters of support that you can get, the better it looks for the grant. So I have a letter of support all written up that all you have to do is sign.
Okay.
If you agree to support this project.
All right, any
I
other?
do have a picture of the pavilion that I can pass
Well,
around.
that'd be great.
It's a wooden pavilion with asphalt shingles, laminated beams, laminated cedar beams.
Pond doesn't come with it, no.
No, we have one.
Oh, we have one of those already, I
We
know.
have a couple.
We have a row-
Do we need any more?
You can-
We have many ponds now.
You can get to it
Yeah,
by
it's
boat
nice.
today. And the location of this is,
It's directly behind the playground area. Now, that's where the septic is, and it would be, the septic is going to be pushed out another 40, about 40 feet out and taper down. One of the reasons they broke it out was that we didn't expect the cost for creating that mound to be as high as it is. But
Mhm.
you have to stabilize the whole area because it sits right next to the septic. So the groundwork is far more expensive than we anticipated.
any further questions? Anyone in the audience have any questions? Okay,
Go get it.
you've got the,
This is the letter?
that's the letter,
That's
okay.
the letter.
Where's the motion?
No, pardon me.
Not in our pack.
That's land and water.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Rebecca's
I'm
done a
sorry.
great job putting this grant together. There's so much
What's
work
going on with that?
involved.
I know, couldn't put up with this every week.
So we don't have a motion for this?
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, there's one in there.
Oh, it's on the top.
And then this, we'll put a warrant
Here, right?
on the,
Should be there.
we should know July 1st whether we get the grant.
Conservation.
And
Oh, here it is, I got it.
then we would put a motion in for town meeting,
October.
for October town meeting.
Pass the $100 bill, I wouldn't know. Okay. I also have the letter. Do you want me to read the letter?
Yes, if we're
Can
gonna.
you read it?
Yeah, this is a letter that they're looking for everyone to sign.
Just a little small, I was wondering if you could read it.
It's,
You want me to read it?
no, I can read
You
it. I
sure?
can read it.
Okay.
This is a challenge.
The
hold
acting secretary.
Margie,
His
would you
eyesight's a
just
little
read?
bit out of class.
It's to the North Reading Parks and Recreation Department from the Board of Selectmen, endorsement for a pavilion at Ipswich River Park. The Board of Selectmen unanimously endorsed the Parks and Recreation Department's effort to apply for a grant from the Land and Water Conservation Fund to install a pavilion at Ipswich River Park. The board members feel strongly that the pavilion will add the much-needed shade and protection for our residents and visitors. It's always been a concern having 49 acres of park without any shelter during a storm. The board members also like the fact that a pavilion will give our senior citizens the opportunity to finally enjoy IRP during the summer months. With limited facilities in town for our seniors, residents, and children, the pavilion will give another option to host events, outings, and family time. Thank you for your continued efforts in making IRP a more safe and community-friendly location. Sincerely, and we have the members of the.
All right, well, since it's asking for unanimous in the letter, I'll entertain the,
Yes.
the motion,
Yes.
and we'll see where we stand.
Mr. Chairman, I move to endorse the grant application be submitted to the Land and Water Conservation Fund to install a pavilion at Ipswich River Park.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Further discussion, Mr. Vino?
Yes, I think it's just important, and I believe it was said, there are no tax dollars going into this
Correct.
project. This is
Correct.
strictly fundraising and grants, et cetera. Thank you.
Okay, on the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. And given that it's unanimous, I think we can sign the letter.
I know, it would have to get out the way.
Otherwise, we'd have to change the wording of the letter. Anybody else here for public
Very
comment?
dramatic letter.
The two gentlemen that were sitting in the back there, do you know what they're-
They just washed in.
No idea,
they washed in and washed out, all right.
no idea.
Low tide.
Were they?
Oh, were they?
Oh, okay.
Part of the license?
Because one guy bought a house up by there.
Oh, but I did ask.
You did
for
ask,
public